This is the final match of the night, at least on the main court. And I mean, this is the final match slot of the night. So we have the women of Team Canada against the women of Team Italy coming at you live from Cancun.
Yeah, this is the 2019 Dodgeball World Championships hosted by the World Dodgeball Federation. Yeah. So what have we seen so far today? Let's do a small recap, I guess. What was the match that started off the day? United States versus Great Britain, I believe, was the one that started the day. I believe that was 16-1 U.S. over Great Britain. Following that on the live stream, we had Canada versus Argentina. That was also the men's division. That was 8. Oh,
that was a convincing win. I did write that down. I just have to actually remember.
Yeah, that was a win for Canada. After that, it was Australia and Malaysia. And that was a
pretty good. Malaysia did win it. Australia kind of started to close the gap a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was actually a really interesting match. Just to recap that for a second, because I think that was one of the most interesting matches of today. So Malaysia being the gold medal, the current champion, so to speak, here to get their four-peat. And so Australia, was falling behind in that first half, and that second half, though, they looked like a different team. They made adjustments, and they took like the last 4 games in a row. So good work on Australia. I don't think their seeding right now really shows how well they're performing, and with the adjustments they've made.
Yeah, showing some good ability to adapt when they have to. After that, we saw on the men's side, Team USA versus Team Italy. And that one, I think, was pretty strongly in favor of the American side, although Italy did get 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, I think they got 1 point.
So, still entertaining. Then we saw on the women's side, Malaysia and Team USA.
Yeah, that was the first match for both of those teams, I believe, of this tournament. And also, that is a gold medal rematch. So they ended last tournament the same way they started this one, with a rematch of those two teams.
Yeah, and the American women coming away with the win in that one. And after that, we had, I think, for my money, the most intense of the matches so far. We had the men's Team Canada versus Malaysia. They played a really close one where Malaysia won 3 points to close out the second half and force basically a sudden death point that came down to a 2-on-1 Canada versus 1 from Malaysia, and Canada was able to convert it.
Yeah,
earning themselves a very narrow 8-7 win.
That was, I agree. I think that was the best match of the day. Once again, those two teams, as we talked about earlier, had two very different styles, and to show that those two styles, like one necessarily isn't better than the other, maybe with a slim margin going to Canada, just for their box score. But interesting use of timeouts in that match, which is something I don't think we've really thought about a lot. At least I haven't until
Both of us commented on it, though, that the team, we weren't surprised to see timeouts. We were just surprised by which side took those timeouts.
Yeah.
So, and in both cases, the team that took the timeout did lose the next set. So.
Yeah, especially because the team that took the timeout was the team that just won the previous game, and it seemed like a weird time to take a timeout. But we're seeing a lot of teams take like this timeout between the 10 and 6 minute mark. I feel like it gives them some time to make some minor adjustments before the half, get to see how that impacts the game and how the flow of things, and then they go on to make bigger changes in the half, right, when they get that 5 to 10 minutes to really flesh things out and discuss. So, yeah, I think that was definitely my favorite match of the day, just in terms of, those two being two powerhouse teams. We'll see them go, most likely deep into the bracket.
Just the closeness of the result obviously makes it for a pretty entertaining match for our money, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that, we just saw Team Mexico and Team Malaysia in the women's division playing on this very stream. I actually did not watch very much of that game. I was taking in a bit of the New Zealand and Great Britain game, but I did see that Malaysia won that match in pretty convincing fashion.
Yeah, 12-1 Malaysia over Mexico.
A bit of a surprise to me. I thought, I would have bet on Malaysia to win, but I also probably would have...
Not with that spread.
Yeah, like maybe win by just a couple of points or a small handful rather than, as much as they did. So kudos on them for performing, and hopefully Team Mexico is going to be able to pick it up as they step into tomorrow's matches.
Yeah.
And so the capper for tonight is going to be Canada and Italy in the women's division. Canada, the women, still a powerhouse team. Italy, they've been steadily improving. They have a lot of returning members. I don't think they've ever really come super close to beating the Canadian women, but who knows? This could be that first time. On some of the other courts, just to keep you a little bit informed, we have Hong Kong versus the USA in the women's division on court number 1, as well as also in the women's division, court number 2, Australia versus Argentina. So we will provide updates on those scores as best we can. We can almost kind of see the scores from here, and we should be able to get a few sideline updates here and there throughout the match.
Kind of almost is a good way to put it. Jake Mason should be giving us some score results as we get into about the 10-minute mark and getting some updates on that to keep you all informed. Once again, all the matches are being recorded, and they'll all be uploaded to YouTube over the course of the coming days, or I believe after the tournament, but looking to upload them as soon as possible. So
yeah, the most recent information we have, I think, says that they'll be uploaded after the tournament, so unfortunately we won't be able to have them available to everybody sooner, but hey, the important thing is that they will be there. You will be able to watch them. And while they won't have commentary, I encourage you to dub your own over the game. Just see what it's like to be a commentator sometime.
Yeah, mute us.
Yeah. I think you never know what the experience could be like for you. Maybe you'll be here next year.
Yeah. You could be us.
So let's talk a little bit about the Italian team. I recognize quite a few players from their squad, but some new blood as well. But we've got people like Eleonora Baldini, who's been here all 3 years that Italy's been represented at Worlds. Same with Chiara Irani and Margot Orgiu. And yeah, so a good amount of continuity coming through from this team. A couple of new faces as well that I have not yet seen play. We will see Sara Azzori making her World's debut for Italy. And yeah, I think I've seen her with I can't actually see what color her hair is, but she might have been the yellow and green hair. Oh no, that's actually number 4. That would be Orgiu, who was here before. It just did not have that hair color, so
yeah.
I like it. It's exotic. Meanwhile, on Team Canada, we do see a lot of familiar faces there. Some of the mainstays of the program in recent years, people like Shauna Rowe and Jessica O'Quinn, as well as her twin sister Jackie. Brogan Moore making a return to the Canadian national team. Lynn Kirkpatrick, who's been on the team, feels like for ages now. And Lisa Mora as well. This is, I believe, her 3rd year on the team. We also see some newcomers. Jessica Gray, playing out of Ottawa, making her national team debut for Canada. And Julie McLaren, playing out of Winnipeg. It's over there warming up as well, number 85. Mackenzie Panay, coming out of Prince Edward Island, making her national team debut. We've got some new blood, and Karine Beron, who comes out of Quebec. So those are some first-timers. We've got an interesting mix of experience and new blood on this team. I also forgot to mention Kenley Croft, who back on the team after a pretty strong showing overall, I'd say, in Los Angeles last year. So yeah, we'll see if the new blood from Canada ends up carrying the day, or if we still see those veterans sort of continuing to hold down the fort as they have so many times.
I think it's really interesting. We've seen a couple teams today. There's a difference between the style that the older, veterans are taking and the younger players are. Most notably, like watching the U.S. I mean, just because I know them so well, watching like Eric Stone and Glenn Spazier as opposed to like Hashimoto and Mike McGee, right? So I look forward to seeing the rotations from those younger players and how they approach the game as compared to their veteran counterparts right in that same position.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to kind of see the stylistic choices and what they get out of those choices.
I also forgot to mention Shade Berkeley on the Canadian team. She was using one of those stretch bands, kind of out of my line of sight. So apologies, Shade. She's returning to the national team again. She has moved to Toronto recently after getting her start playing dodgeball in Edmonton. I don't actually know too much about the Edmonton dodgeball scene other than Canada's own Dwayne Wazinski plays from out in that direction, running, playing a pretty crucial role in the WDBF as well as Dodgeball Canada.
I think on the other side on Team Italy, a lot of Team Italy comes from one specific part of Italy, with a couple offshoots here and there, but for the most part, a lot of these players are pretty consistently playing with each other, from what I understand.
Yeah, I believe they come from the city of Ravenna, and we saw a few of them in my hotel wearing the Ravenna dodgeball shirt earlier. I'm not sure if all of them come from that region at this point, but certainly that's where those repeating members who've been here for 2 and even 3 years, they seem to be based out of that area. I guess that's Italy's foam dodgeball hub. I believe they're kind of one of the only centers that's really been playing foam dodgeball for a little while. 2017 in Ontario was the first time, I believe, that some of them had really played in a competitive foam event. And it was a bit of a rough start, but I think both the men's and the women's side have made some pretty substantial gains since then.
Absolutely. We've seen both Italy and Argentina from last year already make a ton of progress. Right, like these teams that keep coming back, just keep improving year over year.
Did you notice there's actually a warm-up that the Team Canada ball retrievers were doing, kind of trying to do those bounce passes cleanly to each other, because that is actually a thing they'll be asked to do sometimes. If a player knocks a ball out of bounds, they're kind of counting on those ball retrievers to know where the ball should be distributed from there, and sometimes the answer is to another ball retriever. So yeah. You'll see those bounce passes as a way to kind of minimize variability and make it very easy for everybody to know where the balls are going and read what they need to do to catch them. Because if you're a ball retriever and it, say, bounces off your hands awkwardly onto the other team's side, something like that, I mean, that's the other team's ball at that point. Nobody wants to be in that position.
So for context, for your Canadian side, this is also not the right rosters. This is the men's team rosters instead of the women's team. We apologize for that. We'll try to get that fixed for tomorrow.
We will at least mention the correct names here as we go.
Yeah.
As we see the teams getting ready, we're starting pretty much right on schedule here in Cancun. Last match of the day, 7:30 p.m. Eastern and local time. Here we go. And we see Panay with the quick shot right away.
And connects.
Yeah, she gets the kill on Diana Vlad. And this is Vlad's second year on the team, having made her debut last year in Los Angeles. Ooh, we see on the return, yeah. I believe that's Irani taking a shot. Chiara Irani, third year on the team.
Nice ankle shot there.
Yeah, we see a lot of these Canadian women have very accurate throws. So I think one of the challenges for Italy is going to be for that blocking game and that dodging game to really, they're going to need to be elusive. As we see a couple of balls sent toward the corner, but no luck eliminating.
Yeah, this Canadian women's team is scary. They're a ton of fun to watch, and they're a powerhouse team.
And there we see number 23, Deborah Rossi, knocked out. Italy down to just 2, and they have not yet managed to eliminate any of the Canadians on this opening set. Charge counters coming out just like...
Tags them both.
Yeah. Now we know that the women's side is doing this just like the men's side was doing. That's very much seems to be something that Canada as a program is introducing into their game this year. Yeah, accurate throws when you can actually take out both of the opposing players remaining on one charge from 2 players. That's good value.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's one of those plays too that you run so well that they don't even need to coordinate it. They just know, like, okay, this is the moment we strike. We saw the men's team do it earlier from the Canadian side. We see the women's team doing it now. I think we talked about this yesterday, wanting to see the similarity in styles between these women's teams and the men's teams and the crossover that you have, because there are co-ed divisions in a lot of local and in your case provincial. Is that right?
Yeah.
But in our national tournaments as well, we have co-ed divisions and all that. So when everyone plays together, especially within your own country, a lot of those styles are going to overlap. So interesting to see the same thing on the Canadian side.
Ontario has actually moved away from having co-ed tournaments at the provincial level. We do have a kind of a history of doing it, but not in recent years. We see both of the O'Quinn twins operating out of the corners. Number 10, Jessica O'Quinn, has been on the team for a few years now, and her sister Jackie O'Quinn, number 18, on the other side. And I think we see, Brogan Moore hit out there. As the refs pause play, one thing I want to point out that's kind of interesting about the opening rush for Team Canada, their inside rusher actually pitched the ball not just back, but like laterally all the way across to O'Quinn, who's playing in the left corner right now, for a shot from an angle that we don't always see off the rush. But that was a quick play. I don't think it connected that time, but it's a little bit of an interesting wrinkle that we're seeing out of this team. And in the back and forth, nobody connecting there. Still 5-on-5. Canada with the extra ball here.
Four-ball play here for Canada. Good pressure, and it doubles.
Yeah.
Comes out from that cross court.
Yeah, that never feels great as the receiving team, but unfortunately, it does happen sometimes. So Vlad knocked out as well as, and we see Arani taking counter. Yeah.
Jessica O'Quinn is the one nearest us.
Yeah, Jess, number 10. I think plays on the right side more often than not.
Yeah.
Jackie on the left. If you play against them enough, you will learn to tell the difference, but they have not only similar looks as identical twins, but they also have a pretty similar skill set. They are both champion softball players, so they both have a commanding windmill throw as well as those overhand shots. In the meantime, I want to highlight that Team Italy, while down to 2 players, has gotten Canada down to 3, so kind of showing that first point may be an anomaly, but we see that charge counter coming out from O'Quinn and eliminating.
Yeah, nice work.
Yeah, that's a good clean hit on Ilaria Kolela. And now it is just down to number 12, Irani by herself, facing down 3 from Canada, and she is tagged out. She gives a little acknowledging nod and point, and I think fell out of her shoe.
Yeah, and just for reference, the clock will occasionally go out of sync on our end. Time is about 15:30, not 16:50.
Yeah, stream clock should catch up in a little bit. 2-0 Canada. Irani still adjusting her shoes. All right, she's good. And here we go.
And again, that same tag off the rush.
Yeah, we see that good, quick, decisive play from Canada. O'Quinn really threatening. Both O'Quinns, actually.
Ooh.
Jess O'Quinn taking that shot.
Looks like the second time she's made a pretty aggressive early play.
Rowe now holding the only ball, takes that aggressive shot. Italy waits it out and manages to tag Rowe on the return, and I think that's
another tap.
Yeah, Panay hit out as well. So Italy showing some good patience and then some good accuracy to follow up.
Yeah. First player lead that I believe Italy's had, 5 versus 4.
In the back and forth. Oh, there we see
nice
Croft.
Shot.
Croft tagged out after throwing herself, and now the Italian side has their first significant player advantage of the match. 5-on-3. Oh, but the counter back and forth.
Tags.
Yeah, O'Quinn successfully tagged out by Rossi.
I think that was okay. I think it was a 2-for-1 trade. So, a 3 versus 2 is better than a... Oh, nice shot there.
Yeah, great cross-court shot from O'Quinn. And still alive with Moore as they face Orgiu and... Well, that was Orgiu throwing the ball. Oh yeah, that's Kolela on the far side. And oh yeah, the cross court, very close. No, being called out, so may have gotten, I don't know, knee, something like that as well. So Canada making it now a 2-on-1. They've managed to take Italy down. That throw from Orgiu, tries one on each target.
Yeah, first one being a no look, and second one just being straightforward. Probably trying to put some pressure, preventing that counter rush.
Yeah, Orju tagged out there. She listed as her best attribute on the court, calm. I like that personally.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to play. I know I tend to wear my emotion more on my sleeve, but it helps to have that calm and just that peace of mind. Staying level-headed and composed is.
Yeah, you sometimes don't get to those same emotional highs other people do, but obviously you may be more resilient to the lows. So
yeah.
Also, she listed as her fun fact that every time she plays, she absorbs at least one shot to the face, and she doesn't mind. So that's a good attitude to have, I'd say, because, it is going to happen from time to time, especially once you're playing at a competitive level. I'd say in general, it's not like people are typically going to aim for the face. Beyond the fact that it's considered kind of rude, I also think it's one of those areas that people can get out of the way, so I don't really like it as an area to target very often, even if you take out the fact that it's kind of seen as not the nicest thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see the etiquette here is often if somebody does take a shot that hits someone in the face, they'll often at least give a hand and say sorry across the court. But it is part of the game. It does happen sometimes.
Yeah. No rule against it or anything like that. But they're 25 feet away from each other.
We do see, Jessica Lai tagged out there. Another good shot from the Canadian side. We see the counter coming out. And, wow.
Connections.
Yeah, we're seeing Mora knocked out as well. Far side. Still gets an acknowledgement 5 from her coach, Victor Gravilli. And now we've got the huddle for Team Italy. They come to the line, and they're throwing, just missing a little bit high toward Kanea in the far corner. Well, actually, I think that's Gray. I called her Panay a couple of times, but far left side, number 51, that is actually Jessica Gray out of Ottawa.
So we are seeing a lot of good connections coming from this Canadian side. Well, okay, nice pressure. I was about to say, I don't think we've seen as much space control from the women's team.
It's been a little. I think they've got a different style of it. I think they've been charging up a little more aggressively rather than necessarily holding the line the same way that I think the men's team did a bit more often. But
yeah.
But I think we've seen, especially when it's both O'Quinns on either side, they've not been shy about just kind of charging forward at times that might be difficult for the Team Italy side.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And just to be clear, that wasn't a criticism or anything. It's just, one of those noticeable differences in styles between the
Absolutely.
two. So it's always interesting to see those, where they overlap and where they don't. And, both teams are here to win. They know their game, and what, I think we talked about also, what tools you have is also going to dictate the way, you play the sport.
Absolutely. And Kolela now, the only one left. You see O'Quinn saying, no, that bounced.
Yeah.
You're safe.
That's always my favorite thing, is that when your opponent tells you, no, you're safe.
Yeah.
It always earns a lot of respect.
Well, and it's like we said earlier, everybody here wants to earn any wins they get or any big plays they make. They don't want to feel like they were handed it, in a way that it kind of feels bad.
Yeah.
If you're handed it and you don't feel like you actually deserve it. So, some nice effort there, I'd say. Kolela with an aggressive throw, trying to squeeze that catch as well, but can't quite come down with it. Canada able to extend their lead to 4 points.
Yeah, 4-0 Canada over Italy. We've got just about 13 minutes left in this first half. Once again, this is day 2 of the Dodgeball World Championships. We're here in Cancun, Mexico.
It is actually warmer in this venue due to the air conditioning than it is outside right now. Oh, and that's an unfortunate double, I think.
Yeah, once again, you have, let's go over the rules quick for this final game of the day. You got 10 seconds to throw.
You can block with the ball, as we saw Mora doing there.
Yeah. If you block it and it deflects into you, you're out. Any ball that is thrown will reset the shot clock of 10 seconds. The team with more balls has to throw.
I just want to point out, Orgiu did one of those things we talked about earlier. She threw kind of through the screen. Croft was up high. Jessica O'Quinn was behind her, and Orgiu managed to tag the player behind by using the player in front as a distraction or a visual obstacle. We both like that play.
Yeah.
Those opportunities don't pop up off. Oh, wow. Quick shots from Canada.
I feel like this Canadian women's team has a little bit more of like the Malaysian men's style, right? Like they kind of match in that way, right? Where they're playing more from the back line, like some of these aggressive shots.
Yeah, I can see some of those similarities in terms of the choices both sides make. And there we do see some good hits out, eliminating Vlad.
It's so interesting to see the different philosophies that these teams take into how they approach the sport.
Now we see both Italians willing to throw 2 balls. I mean, they had all 6, so why not? Rani on the right side seems to be the vocal leader right now. Makes herself very small, avoids those shots. And they both managed to direct shots toward Croft. Rani connecting and knocking her out.
Good job committing. See, they're giving really dedicating themselves to that shot. And there's another aggressive run forward and connects again.
I think Azzori there actually also driving Mora all the way back over the back line. So big throw from her. Even if it wasn't a hit, it did get the result. Those balls collided in the air, so I think they're going to be both just fine.
Yep. So if the 2 throwers on opposite teams throwing their balls collide in the air, both of those balls are considered dead and unable to get someone out.
We saw Azzori there avoiding pressure from both Pinay on the right, number 15, and Gray on the left.
Oh, what a throw!
Gorgeous throw from Pinay from her knees. Yeah, and that was solid too. You could hear that one hit with impact, so.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, if you can get away with getting a good throw off like that, I would not be surprised if Azzori was just kind of surprised by that ball coming out at the time it did and with the speed that it did.
Yeah, it's hard to get that much, oomph out of when you have no, you're not driving with your legs, right? That was all core and upper body, so that was impressive.
Canada now with that 5-0 lead, a little bit less than 8 minutes to play in the half. And once again, off the rush, very effective play as they managed to take out Jessica Lai.
Yeah, they've run that play successfully, I think, 4 out of 5 times now, or something along those lines.
I guess keep doing it until your opponents prove it's not going to work anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
And now that ball slowly rolling back to the Canadian side. We see their wings protecting it, making sure it gets in their hands. Now they still have to pick it up with, nice shot.
Another connection.
Yeah, O'Quinn finding the mark on Kolela. And we see a ball from another court. When that happens, the refs will blow play dead so that the ball can be put back where it belongs. Which is in the Argentina versus Australia game happening on the far court. And there we see a nice shot. Yeah, over the blocker. Diana Vlad knocked out one more time. She always looks so sad in her body language when she gets hit out, so.
I mean, it's reasonable.
It's always disappointing not to be playing.
Yeah. It's not the out, it's the fact that she isn't playing actively in that moment.
Yeah. Italy deciding to go a little bit aggressive there. I like the choice. I think. Oh, and there we see the ball retriever.
Respect from that ball retriever, knowing that ball got over the line. And
yeah, you got to give that one to the other side. You don't get to have your claim on it anymore.
Good integrity there.
Orgiu and I believe that's Rani still on the team. Still on the court together and absorbing a bit of pressure. Gray trying to take a shot that Orgiu was able to deal with just fine.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more of that court pressure we were talking about earlier as we get into these, this 6th game.
Orgiu out, so Rani is alone, and I think that shot, yeah.
What a shot.
Great throw from Lisa Mora. Lisa Mora actually has a fitness Instagram channel. If you are ever interested in some workouts that you can do to improve everything, core strength, shoulder mobility, how you eat even, you can look for Mora Fit. I believe her tagline is more fit than ever. That's not a pun I came up with.
But another pun you enjoy.
It's a pun I appreciate. Yeah. So I have personally bookmarked quite a few of her posts as just like things that I can do in the gym that I think are going to be really good for me. So
yeah.
Just one of the many ways that I think some of the players can give back to the community. You got some information you can share about. Oh wow!
Big catch!
Rowe. Rowe obviously wishes she had that one back, but
over the line.
Yeah, I think she wishes she had that one back as well. You
Yeah,
can see the face palm with two hands.
That's unfortunate. A lot of excitement there.
I mean, when you charge back into play, maybe Kolela did not have a chance to orient herself quite yet. Now we see both corners taking their shots.
Stays alive.
Yeah, Irani absorbs that one.
Yeah, connects right in the chest.
Yeah, might have been able to track it down, but that was going to be a weird one. It kind of popped up and right over her to her back pretty quickly. So. And now, Canada still with a 6-0 edge, 5.5 minutes to go in this half. We are going to see if they can extend the lead or if Italy can get themselves on the board before the first half ends.
Yeah, let's... who did Italy play earlier today?
Who in the what now?
Who did Italy play earlier today?
Another big shot right off the rush. Same target, too. Yeah, let us look at some of the information from earlier in the day. On the women's side, Italy faced Australia in our second game of the day, 10:30. Wait, no, that's the morning tomorrow, isn't it? Never mind. They were off the main stream.
Italy versus Mexico.
Yeah, they played Mexico on court number 2. That's right.
Got it.
Well, in any case, now Italy down a few players, but they are rich in balls. Croft trying to put some pressure on them. O'Quinn gets tagged on the other side. Jackie O'Quinn.
I mean, ball control is so important. The number of times I've seen a team with, all six balls and one player versus a team with no balls and 4 players, and that team just wins, straight up right then. Yeah. At any moment, things can swing big time if you do not control the court. Like, you can't give experienced players that kind of control. So.
And we saw Sayers eliminated after she dropped her balls to look for a catch. We saw, I think, all 5 armed Canadian women willing to take their shot, and I think a couple of those did connect. We also saw Croft just before that eliminating Orgio with one of those windmill throws. She also has a formidable overhand and underhand, so just a couple of options available to the players that not everybody has. Almost every competitive dodgeball player, I think, has an overhand throw, but those windmills, not so common.
Yeah, it's an impressive throw. I know a lot of people, myself included, have tried to learn it, and it's like a whole new way to throw. It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, physics are just a little different. Actually, the O'Quinns and Croft did run a clinic in Toronto in, I believe, 2018 to kind of get people started on it. I did attend. I'm better at it now than I was, but I still can't pretend to be all that good. We do see, unfortunate for Vlad, she was knocked out again off the rush every single time. It feels like she's the target.
Another connection there. Oh, no.
No, I think blocker. That one looks like it was blocked.
No, they're calling her out.
No, referee's saying, yeah, that did get you. All right, Bill was right. Hashtag Bill was right.
Hashtag first time.
All right, play resumes. Both sides coming off the back line. We see Canada very aggressive. Both balls going toward the same target. Croft and O'Quinn traded back, though. So
I really like that pressure that both Canadian teams show, right? That, we're going to not give you anything easy. Like, you come up to the line, we're coming for you right now.
Yeah, and we see that even when they're just on the offensive, they are connecting on some of those throws. And just one left for Italy. That is Irani again. Ooh, dangerously close to that back line. Woo. You can see that line judge is just ready to blow the whistle, but Gray connecting.
Connects. So we got just about 3 minutes left in this half. The score is going to be 8-0. Canada over Italy.
Yeah, the Canadian women in fine form so far. They're connecting on a lot of throws. They're showing a lot of good pressure. Haven't seen the aggressive catching the way that sometimes they may be inclined to do, but I mean, it doesn't matter if you're connecting on the throws this reliably, then hey, stick with what is working.
Yeah.
Especially on those rush plays. They're getting there so quickly, and they're so effectively targeting number 21, Diana Vlad, that, again, keep going. We'll see if it happens again. Not quite.
That's interesting. You brought this up before, but they're really passing it to that far left to take that shot. And I think I get it. You want to take that shot more straight on, right, than a diagonal shot, I think is what they're going for there.
You see Moore and Panay getting knocked off there on a single shot. And yeah, I think it's only marginally slower than getting the ball kind of straight back. It lets you attack a player who's almost certainly completely undefended as they are backpedaling. So
yeah, and it's more of a straight shot than trying to figure out where they're going to be diagonally to you, essentially.
This time they waited a while to get Diana Vlad, but she is still the first one eliminated. 2 balls cleanly connecting.
Yeah, I think Italy's got the player advantage.
Whoa, foot shot.
And a catch.
And a grab, though. Vlad back in.
That was an impressive play.
Jessica Lai coming down with that ball.
Let's see if Italy can capitalize on this player advantage. 5 versus 3.
In search of their first point, hoping that it comes in the first half.
I'm interested to see if Canada takes that same aggressive stance as Italy approaches the line here.
Yeah, so far a little more defensive.
Yeah, that makes sense too. You want to overexpose and trade here. Always interested in when things happen, when things won't happen. And
yeah, the choices you make in one situation might not be so good in another. Irani confirming with the ref that, oh, I guess that was a hit. Double checking, always good to ask the refs if you aren't sure. We see a ball directed toward Mora, but that does miss.
Just a bit in front of her.
And now Canada with 3 balls, but Italy with 4 players. Ooh,
there's
again.
Connection.
But there's the team catch off the ricochet. And Mora eliminated on what I'm sure feels like not a great bounce. Gray and Croft switching sides. Croft going real aggressive and connecting. Nice throw.
Both of them do.
Yeah.
That'll reduce the gap from, is it 5-2 or 5-3 to 3-2?
Again, really aggressive from Croft. She's got a powerful throw, so not a bad choice to play it aggressively. This time she defers that extra ball over to Gray. And Gray opts to go aggressive and connects with Lai. Croft gets under that throw, and we see another tag. Great accuracy again from this Canadian side.
Yeah, that puts them back in the lead for this game.
And it's finished off.
It out.
Well done by Jessica Gray and Kenley Croft to really just complete that Canadian point. Even though their side was down in players, they were able to execute a little more effectively.
Yeah, we're getting into the final seconds of this first half. We have 14 seconds left. Look for this one. Look for this game to be a bit intense. Once the timer hits 0, we go to no block, and so that'll finish out the half for us. The ball becomes an extension of your arm, but you always start it with 3 balls on each side. So there's no reason to hold your balls essentially unless you think you might get caught or something like that. So look for a lot of throws right toward the 0 second mark.
A little bit of a sloppy rush from both sides, both in terms of their opening run and the pass off of the ball. We see, I think only Vlad knocked out there on those exchanges. So it will be a 6-on-5 as we enter no blocking.
Yeah.
Canada looking to preserve their so far shutout. Italy looking to get themselves on the board. I expect Canada to be the more aggressive side here. Lai
Yep,
hit
like
out.
that.
Yep. Gray with a good shot right on the mark. Gray again. Ooh.
There we go.
I don't think it was Gray's ball that connected, but either way.
I think
You see the player eliminated. Colella takes her spot on the sideline. And we see that 4th ball come back over to the Italian side.
I think, and a big catch.
We also saw Irani blocked, realized her mistake immediately afterward, and I could hear the no from up here. So Canada closes that one out, finishing the first half super strong, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, literally 10 out of 10. So we'll have about a 5-minute break right now between game 1 and game 2.
Yeah, people can hydrate, stretch, talk a little bit about how things are going, anything they might want to adjust.
Yeah. We'll see what Italy adjusts here. They had some strong moments. They had some player advantages that they couldn't capitalize on, and I'm interested to see if they can take a game in the second set.
So among these
second half, I should say.
Current Canadian ball retrievers, we'll see in the pink headband Jocelyn Luke, who actually made the first cut for the national team. She wasn't activated as a playing member of the team, but she is here as a ball retriever. And just one of the ways that if you are part of the national team program, there are a bunch of ways that people contribute. The other two ball retrievers, David Armstrong and Daniel Pleuret out of Ottawa, showing their support for the teams by running around after the balls that haven't made their way back to the court just yet. So that's one of those things. We've talked a little bit about the fact that ball retrieval, you are expected to run after those balls. You are expected to get them back in the hands of the appropriate players as fast as possible. Doing it cleanly. Nobody wants to see a bobble with those balls.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you this earlier. Do your local and provincial leagues use ball retrievers?
I can say that for the provincial tournaments in Ontario, because we do try to mimic the world's style as much as we can, ball retrievers are a thing. They're often, if you have a team of, say, 9 people, whichever 3 people aren't actually playing at the time are very likely going to be your retrievers. Otherwise, I'd say the community's pretty good about people doing retrieval for other teams.
Yeah, stepping up and helping out.
In the leagues, at least that I play in, they aren't open enough for the ball retrieval thing to matter. Like if you're playing in a gym where the walls, like basically 3 sides of the court are a wall, the other side is maybe open but blocked off by benches or something like that, you don't really need retrievers as a dedicated role. So
yeah, we
there's that Jaguar.
Yeah, we at least in a lot of our leagues and even our national tournaments, Elite says like you got to get those balls directly into the court, like ASAP. So I feel like ball retriever is a very different position for us. Like except for when we play the WDBF format, we've only recently started practicing it, so to speak.
I mentioned the different ways you can contribute on the national team. We see Julie McLaren fanning Kenley Croft with her hands. McLaren coming in fresh here. It's one of the many ways you can contribute, keeping your teammates cool.
Looks like we're lining up here for the second half.
And we also see Karine Biron and Lynn Kirkpatrick in for the first time this match. So the O'Quinn's getting a bit of a break. And we see some high spirits, various places on the court as well. That's always nice to see. I feel like it's not that hard for the Canadians to have high spirits right now. They've got a 10-0 lead.
Yeah, they gotta be feeling good right now.
Yeah, the main things they need to worry about are staying crisp with their execution, and I'm sure for morale reasons they're going to want to keep this shutout as long as possible.
Yeah, and to stay healthy. Right?
Well, yeah, that is always important.
This isn't a good time for them to be diving for catches, right? Like they should be able to secure this win. If all of a sudden Italy comes back 11-10. I will be shocked and very pleasantly surprised that we have seen history.
That would be one for the ages. And off the opening rush, McLaren's first throw not connecting. Personally, I think it's hard to come in the second half. You may not be as warmed up as you'd like. And we see Kirkpatrick very aggressively out there fishing for balls.
Especially compared to the other team, right? That, have been playing at the pace, and now you got to step up and get in there.
All right, we've got a little more back and forth coming. Kirkpatrick still trying to draw in those balls. That one, Rowe just checking to see if it bounced before it found her. It looks like it did. Again, checking with the ref if you're not sure, always a good idea.
Yeah. Both these teams have a lot of integrity. Good work by Italy getting that line, using a lot of pump fakes, but Canada, once again, with those counter shots, very aggressive on those. And it's paying off dividends. Ooh, right to the Looked like to the forehead. What a shot.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of energy all over the place in this match and on other courts. Canada now with that 5-player edge over the 2 for the Italian side. We see McLaren holding things down before backing off and deferring that ball to Kirkpatrick.
By the way, do we have any score updates for the other 2 matches going on?
I can't quite see those scoreboards. I don't know if you can. Might have to use our phones as telescopes here. Or,
yeah.
But we do see in the meantime Canada putting another point away.
Yeah. 11-0. Every game does matter. Your point spread is important as you go into each one. So Canada's going to keep up that intensity. They want to get every point they can. And Italy's looking to reduce the number of points that they give up and want to get some on the board, right? They want to keep that ratio as close to or as high as possible.
Yeah, it's always important just to keep things rolling. And there we see McLaren's shot. Wow, that was a bit of a splits.
Yeah.
As the player retreats. Hands that ball off to a retriever who gets it back in play.
I don't think they're allowed to get it in directly, right, once they're out?
Correct. Those players eliminated, they have to leave those balls for the retrievers to deal with once they're out of the court. I don't think anybody's going to be mad about you running off with one and then dumping it directly to the retriever, but wow, what a shot.
Yeah, what a cross court.
Vlad hit out once more.
Yeah, the players can only hand the ball off to a retriever. They're not allowed to put it directly in. So,
see Shade Berkeley also on the court now for the first time in this match. Number 17 at the back. Team Canada needs to throw next. Looks like McLaren calling the play. And 2 shots coming, makes a grab.
Catch.
Really well done, and she just sinks low to just collapse on that ball.
This game has only been a minute long so far.
You see Sayers alone, opts to only hold 1 ball, and I think that was a catch. Yep, referee's confirming that.
Okay.
I believe that was Biron coming down with the ball.
12-0 Canada over Italy.
They are looking strong.
Once again, this is the 2019 Dodgeball World Championships, and we're live from Cancun, Mexico. We're here watching Canada versus Italy in the women's division. Nice shot off the rush.
I think McLaren wasn't hitting too many shots early on in this half as it was her debut, and now that she's found the aim, she's proving to be a potent throw for the Canadian side.
Yeah. Once again, Canada's been using that rush shot a lot, and just to clarify that there's that midline, there's that first line, right behind it on each side. The ball just has to pass over that line. You don't have to get 2 feet behind it or anything like that. Once the ball passes over, that ball is live, which is why you see these pitchbacks being done to try to get the quickest shot possible while both teams are kind of in close proximity off that initial rush.
Oh, wow, and we saw a nice shadow catch from McLaren there, just tracking the ball down as it was intended for, I believe, Rowe. Yeah,
so for those at home, what's a shadow catch? Because I actually don't know that term.
That is just the term that I've heard a lot of people use for hanging behind one of your teammates who you expect, who's up a little closer to the opposing team, who might draw some fire. But if a shot is thrown at them, you might be in position to make a catch behind them. So
got it. Okay.
That's one of those things that can be
who
either
are their shadow.
Yeah. It can be a
Okay.
deterrent to the other team taking a shot at your player who's up high, so it's kind of a way to protect them. Or it can also be a punish. If they take that shot and miss it, then there's somebody right behind their target who might be right there to absorb the ball, and then it's a catch. And it's probably at that point moving a little slower than it was when it was aimed at your initial target. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's it's very much so, especially if they come from a softball background, right? I know as a former outfielder in baseball, you're told to cover the infield, right? Even if a play comes that direction. So same thing here, right? If a play goes that direction and it passes through, you're ready for that catch. So
That is correct. In the meantime, Mora hit out as she jumped. Italy still 6 strong, still in search of their first point of the match. And there we see Lai tagged out on a good throw. Canada still with 5, only 2 balls in hand, so that does mean Italy's going to come to the line. Ooh, we see a nice flexible dodge there from Biron. That's one of those knee destroyers, the leaning back on your knees thing that I sadly cannot do anymore. Oh, Biron dropping what she hoped for was a catch.
Knees and dodgeball age like dogs.
I had to think about that for a second, but I agree.
Yeah.
Big shot from Gray, taking Vlad out.
Okay, 4-4. Just in terms of people on the court.
Oh, Kirkpatrick tagged out, but also in the exchange. So was Kolela. 3-on-3. We've got Berkeley, Croft, and Gray still out there for Canada. Berkeley avoiding that shot. And on the Italian side, showing a bit of pressure. They've still got 3 balls in hand. We see 2 balls invested toward the left side, but Arani staying alive just fine right now.
Yeah, good job getting small there, getting under that throw. Good throw by Canadian side too. Throwing a high-low combination, right? So if they jump or this or that, you know, they're not doubled up in one spot. You know, they have some hedging of their bet as to where you're going to be.
Yeah, and Berkeley hit out. So we are seeing some momentum now from the Italian side. And there's some fakes. Looks like Sayers takes the shot toward Kenley.
Yeah. Okay, they're playing smart now. Okay. They got a 1-ball. Ooh, connects. Good, nice aggressive throw by the Canadian side. Yeah. Pays off.
Azzori heading over to the sideline, and now it is 2-on-2.
Once again, trying to make them play on their terms.
Oh, that's a shot that Gray saw in time. Avoided the impact. Sayers now equipped with the ball again from her teammate. They go. Ooh! It's like a nice little double cross court from Canada, connecting on Sayers.
Yeah, she almost had that catch too. She knows it. And Canada finishes this one off.
Yeah,
14-0.
Irani went low, but Croft's throw got through that blocker. Yeah, Canada, I think definitely in terms of this match, equipped with the more powerful throws, they've been making real good use of them.
Yeah, this is an impressive showing from this team. They're really controlling the court and on both ends.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of decisive play out of them. I think they really know what their plan is, and they've been able to execute it. Just really doing whatever they want to do. Ooh, I like an enthusiastic roll backward there. I like it.
And she got her blocker on it, I think.
Yeah, Kolela, who works as a teacher outside of dodgeball.
A lot of pump fakes coming from that Italian side. Very, super helpful. Them getting that line and pump faking a bunch, and that's when they've gotten a lot of their hits.
Oh, Lai disappointed with herself as she heads off, hands on head. And we see a throw toward Vlad. She avoids that successfully. And as Italy goes on the offensive, they are countered. And they countered the counter. Kirkpatrick hit out. But before she did so, she was able to help make sure Kolela was knocked out. Kolela, who mentioned that her zodiac sign represents her double-faced game. Great plays and great mistakes. I like the sense of humor out of a lot of these Italian players. They're fun to have at this tournament.
Absolutely. They're some of the most fun people we've interviewed in the past, too. Another passionate bunch.
Now that second shot connecting with Vlad. Canada staggering the timing a little bit again so that the player is committed to one move and maybe vulnerable to that second throw. Sounds like on the far side, the Canadian women are up 6-4 right now. Sorry, USA. I said Canadian women. I meant American women. And
they're playing Hong Kong.
Yes, that's a pretty close match at the moment as we see Croft eliminate Irani. Oh no, sorry, that's not Irani. That is actually, I think that might have been Azzori on the far side, but either way, Sayers, the final player to fall. It is over for the moment. So yeah, that is the American women in Hong Kong. Currently the USA up 6-4. On the other court, we've got Australia and Argentina. And that one is 8-1 Australia.
Okay. Both Australian teams doing very well today.
Yeah, we haven't had the pleasure of seeing the Australian women on the main court yet, but coming soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them play. The Australians were, I think, the only ones to beat the USA women's team last year.
Right.
And so I'm excited to see that rematch. I think that's going to be on the main stage later this week. I think on Saturday morning.
We saw Berkeley open up this point with a big shot. And now Team Canada coming to the line. We see the throw from Mora. And in the back and forth, still not a lot of extra damage done.
Also, if you're at home watching and wondering how you can get into dodgeball, reach out to the World Dodgeball Federation. We'll get you in contact with your local leagues and help you find your local organizations and get you started.
We will help you live your best dodgeball life.
Ooh, almost a catch there. Almost pinned it between the ball and her thigh, but just comes up short.
That Lai is going to need to be on the sideline instead, unfortunately, but Orgiu trying to draw on the pressure. Ooh, and Vlad knocked out as well. We actually are just down to one Italian player now.
Yeah.
McLaren hit out, though, in the exchange. And nice block up high.
Nice job.
Rani has been a survivor for the Italian team. But can she be a closer?
Always be closing.
She got her hand on that ball, but it did pop out. Some good power coming out of the Canadian throws. When we talk about the velocity of the throws, I mean, having a harder throw is always better, but I would say that there's a point where if you get your throw to the point where it's useful in a competitive setting, after that I would prefer to work on accuracy for a lot of players. Extra velocity is good up to a point, but if you can't actually direct it reliably toward the spot that you're aiming for, that's less valuable.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you're trying to give a ball like 100% every time, you're going to become inaccurate. Knowing how to give like 80 to 90% and knowing how to hit that target exactly where you want, right? I think a good way that people have put it is, in dodgeball, you're not trying to hit someone, you're trying to get someone out.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Right, like you don't want to put it in their pocket. Dodgeball is the one sport where the person you're throwing to isn't trying to catch it and, alongside with you, right? Football, you're throwing to a receiver and you want to put it in their hands. Dodgeball, you kind of want to graze them, right? You want to hit them in the shoulders, the knees, the shins, away from anywhere where they're good at catching.
Yeah, and especially pretty much no matter how hard you throw, if you put it right kind of at the belly button, there are a lot of players at this level who are just going to find that a relatively easy catch. Ooh, and we see Croft using that windmill to take out Kalela, but also Kalela is avenged by her teammate as Croft is knocked off to the side.
Good follow through though. That reaction to look up and chase it down. It's going to buy her some wins and catches.
Yeah, maybe I've got to play on this, but
yeah.
And we see the teams exchanging shots. Now the onus to throw back to Team Italy. They come to the line with 4 balls. Irani takes the shot. Missing Biron.
Okay, it's 3-3. Let's see if Italy can get on the board at all in this next 8 minutes. Once again, this is the second half and the final match of today. Tomorrow we start at 9 a.m. again in Eastern time. Oh, okay, trade 1 for 1.
Yeah.
We're down to a 2-on-2. Yeah, if you haven't already and you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. All the matches, we'll start again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Italy on the hunt for their first point here. Gray, the last Canadian left.
Okay, back down to a 1-on-1 though.
Gray winds up. And connects. Irani had to commit to a catch there as she did not have a ball in hand yet. But Gray put that shot with force Looked like tagging the shoulder, a great spot to aim for in people.
Yeah.
When you're working on that accuracy we talked about, personally, I think the shoulders and the ankles are the best places to really work at hitting people because those are the hardest to actually defend.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Also just kind of throwing it like a foot to their left or right. Trying to get them to put a hand on it, right? Just graze their fingers.
Yeah, if you find one of those players who really likes to catch and can be baited into reaching for those balls, then exactly, you want to put that just outside of their body a little bit.
Yeah.
Canada gets a throw from Berkeley that kind of splits between two on the Italian side.
Once again, the team that wins the previous game is the one that has to throw the first ball. So usually you'll see the winner take that shot off the rush because they're going to have to throw anyway.
Either team can throw,
Yeah.
but yes, there is an actual responsibility to throw on the team that won the last point. So,
Ooh, is that she got that?
yeah, Berkeley saying catch. Nice grab as she kind of backpedaled and fell to the ground from a jump. And coming up to the line, they tag Orgiu. Berkeley with that left-handed throw. Herself and Shauna Rowe, I believe the lefties on the team. Vlad tagged out, and Canada still with their foot on the gas, up 17-0.
Yeah, they want to increase they want to get all the points that they can, right? Every point matters. It could be the difference between, a 4th seed, a 5th seed, or, anything like that. So you want to get every advantage you can going into this bracket. All these teams are incredible, and there's point 18 for them.
Yeah, Kolela letting go with a good shot, but that one was grabbed by the waiting Canadian arms. And Canada up 18-0 with, I think, 6:41 to go. Squinting a little bit. Looks like Team USA is up 7-4 over Hong Kong right now. I can see that scoreboard now. My thanks to whoever tilted it a little bit more toward my field of view.
Much appreciated. And then on the other side is still...
You see a misfire there from, I believe I've been mispronouncing number 15's name. It's actually pronounced Pinette, Mackenzie Pinette. Thank you to the folks watching from Prince Edward Island who are willing to correct me. Arani knocked out. First out this time instead of last on.
Yeah, I can't tell the score of the Australian-Argentinian game right now.
Vlad gets it out on the foot again. I think her lower body's been targeted a fair bit, and she hasn't been able to adjust against these good Canadian throws.
Yeah, Canada's still 6 strong on the court. Good aggression, pressure.
Yeah, we see active play from Kirkpatrick on the right side, posturing aggressively, but dropping right down into a good defensive stance as soon as she thinks the throw might be coming.
I mean, that is a very aggressive corner. She's up about 10 feet, on those pump fakes. Ooh, but gets connected with there.
Yeah, good timing on the throw from Orgiu. Yeah, Kirkpatrick and her husband Spencer Sereau run Dodgeball Ottawa out of Ottawa, Ontario. A league that's produced quite a few national team players in the last couple of years.
3 solos coming out of that one.
Yeah, the Canadians clearly feeling confident in their throws, willing to take those shots that are essentially solos, even if they're fairly tightly timed. Rowe taking an aggressive shot. Lefty.
Big catch!
That is a Shauna Rowe special. Kind of falling down to her backside and leaning back and still able to just snare that ball.
What a play.
And they find the mark on live. Yep. Great execution right now by Team Canada.
Yeah, 19-0.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in this match. Canada threatening to break that 20-point mark, which we don't see too often, but have to admit they are outclassing Team Italy right now. The Italians still hoping to get at least 1 point in this final set, or in this final phase of the match.
Especially like as they close this out, being able to adjust and know what to change in their game going forward is going to be important. They're going to want that one win to say, yeah, we took out one of the best teams in at least one game, right?
Yep, Pinette with a big catch. Very casual about it at this point. You see the throws from Pinette and Mora, eliminating Sayers. Sayers, who used to work as a Lego designer.
Ooh.
Kind of an interesting job. And now her teammates, still on the floor, are going to need to deal with the full 6 from Canada.
Lego designer, dodgeball, world competitor.
Yeah, the paths that people take to get here, I don't think you can say that there's any one standard thing.
Big
Nice
catch.
grab. Yeah, we see Biron just ready for that ball and doing that catch against the body. That's the way I like to encourage new people to work at catching, is just kind of let the ball hit you and just trap it. Maybe sink your hips a bit, create more of a V with your body, and just kind of try and use your hands to trap it against you.
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest way to get started with catching. Oh, Orgiu tagged substantially by a couple of shots there. The refs are stopping play. I guess that was also maybe on a ricochet. As we also see a second victim there at Zodi. She's knocked out, and it's just down to one player, Jessica Lai, for the Italian team, facing 6 from Canada. You are the chosen one. And that third ball chose her, unfortunately. Canada hitting 20 points.
Might be tied for the highest amount of points in the game so far. I think one other team had 20, correct?
In this tournament, I believe you're right. Struggling to remember which match that came up in, but you can find out from dodgeballworldchampionships.com.
Yes.
Let's say com. And you can find the results there. If you go to that URL/schedule, you can see what is still to come, as well as the results of what has already come. Oh, and I think that's a double from behind. Well, Lai was out for sure. Maybe that wasn't a double.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's hard to know, especially when it comes from behind. You don't know if it bounced first, and most of the time it's a bounce than it is anything else. So
why would you expect that you got hit from behind? Ooh, nice grab. Mora snaring that ball. Defers it over to the corner. Shauna Rowe, one of those lefties in the left corner that Bill was talking about earlier in the tournament. Berkeley, a lefty in the right corner as well right now. I think the Canadian side currently just showing that they've got a lot of flexibility and fluidity to the positions of their players. Berkeley lets it go toward Orgiu. And now Italy with the extra ball is going to be on the offensive, coming up to the line. They absorb a shot from the Canadians. They send 2 back the other way, but don't connect. Berkeley toward Orgiu.
I mean, not a lot of lefties overall, and to see 2 lefty corners on one team is pretty rare.
And now we see those lefty corners. Wow. And I believe they both connected, yeah, as Orgiu also exits the court along with Kolela. There we see Sayers going to have to deal with a shot from Berkeley. Nope. Berkeley elects to hold on.
Yeah. Good work by her, just kind of forcing a move. You never know if you're going to force someone out of bounds, get a free out that way.
I think Rowe
caught that?
I'm not actually sure. That was hard to see from where we were.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she got tagged? I honestly don't know.
Rowe looked questioningly toward the referees, so I'm not sure it was her that actually made the elimination, but
yeah.
I'll assume that while I was looking at that, somebody may have directed a shot that ended up eliminating the player and giving Canada their 21st point of the match with just under 2 minutes remaining. A little bit slow on the rush was Shauna Rowe there, but no harm, no foul, as Jessica Lai is knocked out. She's another one of those early targets. Her and Vlad have often been the victims of the early Canadian aggression. And we see Canada willing to come out a little bit from that back line, just trying to draw out those balls a little more aggressively. Surviving for it so far. Kirkpatrick avoiding that shot as it skimmed in near her feet. And Berkeley lets go, as does Biron from the corner. Now it's Italy's turn to huddle up. You see multiple Canadians coming up, just trying to really have a confusing motion. Berkeley hit out.
Countered.
So is Vlad, though, and so is Kolela.
think that's a pretty interesting move, right? Having those players without a ball charge up, directing the shots inward and allowing the corners to come up and make those counter shots, right? You want to get those trades. That's an interesting tactic that I don't think I've ever really, seen.
I think we started to see it out of
often.
the Canadians last year, yeah. As we see Irani knocked out. Sorry, I said Irani.
Yeah.
That is not actually her. That is her teammate Azzari again.
Yeah, we frequently see a player with a ball, right? If they're in like a one-ball play, come up from the middle. But to see the players without the ball come up to try to drag them in so that the corners have a better opening to make that shot. That's an interesting tactic.
Yeah, I like the idea of the defense not being static. People are just willing to create a little more movement, maybe be a little distracting, maybe bait a bad decision from the other team.
Yeah.
It's a fairly low investment other than your energy, so.
Yeah, right now too, this is the time to experiment. You've sealed the match, try things out. As we get down to 0 seconds, look for balls to fly. At 0, we'll go to no block to wrap up the half.
And the match in this case.
Yeah.
Kirkpatrick, no, just faking there.
But each side will start with 3 balls, so expect the next 5 seconds to be a lot of balls flying.
Kirkpatrick hit out, only a few seconds left. Pinette hit out as well. Oh, and the ref saying that ball was launched before the whistle went. So even though it was caught after the whistle, that's a live ball. That catch counts. And see the excitement here. And now with no blocking and only 2 left on the Canadian side, I mean, this might be the best chance Team Italy has had in a while to actually put a point up on the board. They're going to have to do it against number 47, Brogan Moore, number 85, Julie McLaren, out of Nova Scotia and Manitoba, respectively. Those are provinces. It's for Jake's benefit. And initial shots missing. Moore going low, scrambling to avoid things, and I think we have a line violation. Yeah, Azzari being told to vacate the court. Not the way she wanted it to go, I'm sure. And Moore hit out. Orgeau eliminated as well. It's just McLaren.
Connection there.
Oh,
nice shot, staying alive. Making the throw, but still being heads up and knowing. Big shot.
Yeah, right at those ankles again. Good spot to target on Vlad.
And another shot.
Yeah, finds the back on Kolela.
And another one.
Great throws coming out of her. McLaren looking to close it out.
Finishes
she does. Wow, those were some great tosses.
What a way to seal the game. 23-0 Canada over Italy. That is definitely the highest scoring match that we've seen today.
Yeah, an unfortunate result for Team Italy. They had some moments of strong play, but they were just overpowered in this match by Canada.
Yeah.
Hopefully they've identified a few things that they're going to be able to do to turn things around in a future match. They've got a whole other day to recuperate.
Wow.
And that wraps it up on the main court today.
Yeah. They'll probably be cutting the stream shortly. But let's go over tomorrow's schedule. What can we expect to see on the main court?
Well, opening up, we've got a men's match. I guess we can call it some kind of Thunder Down Under, as it'll be New Zealand versus Australia in the men's division.
The battle of similar flags.
Yeah, that's true.
The only difference being that additional star, which represents the 2 stars. One is the Northern Cross, and the other being the star that represents Australia. The 7s. I looked this up because I didn't want to be called out on getting the wrong flag. So yeah.
And yet here you are.
I we also point and tell you which is which.
We'll have 3 women's matches coming up after that. Italy versus Australia, followed by Canada and Malaysia.
Hello, camera.
And Hong Kong and Mexico. After that, we're going to have Great Britain and Hong Kong on the men's side, then Hong Kong and Argentina on the women's side, followed by Canada, Australia on the men's side, and Malaysia, Mexico on the men's side to wrap things up tomorrow on the main court.
Yeah, so once again, all matches will start at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific, and I at some point will figure out what time that is for the other countries and just have it written down. I apologize, but yeah, for the rest of the tournament, we'll go through Sunday. Every day starts at 9 a.m. You can catch us here. subscribe to the World Dodgeball Federation YouTube channel. It's the best way to follow which live matches are on. We do cut between each match. So best way to see what match is on now. You can find updates on what's going on at the dodgeballworldchampionships.com. You can also find us at the worlddodgeballfederation.com. World Dodgeball Federation on Instagram, YouTube, MySpace, all of those.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is MySpace still around? I mean, it is, but...
Yeah, I think it's a band page, though.
Yeah. Yeah, so another day, a lot of dodgeball accomplished.
Yeah. No, all of the matches are from today on the main court should be up on YouTube. So if you missed any of the action and you're interested in watching, I highly suggest watching the Australian versus Malaysia men's match, the Malaysian versus Canada men's match, the women's USA versus, what was the first one that happened today? Malaysia women's match. That is a gold medal rematch. That was a really fun one to watch. A lot of catches coming out from both sides. A lot of big plays from that one. But yeah, all the matches today, I'd say were worth watching overall, though.
Something to learn from all of them. And with that, we're going to wrap things up. We will be back with you 9 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hope you'll tune in and enjoy the World Dodgeball Championships 2019 from Cancun, Mexico.
We're signing off.